SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. Hi, welcome to SBR Foreign Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 10 in the NFL, and right now we are talking with returning guest Tony George from TonyGeorgeSports.com, LockerRoomPicks.com, and his very popular Sunday morning radio show on the Yahoo Sports Network, where he has a murderer's row of handicapping guests each week previewing the games. Tony, thanks for being back with us this week.
Hey, thanks for having me back on, Peter.
Man, I thought we had a freaking winner last week with Oakland. Then I talked to Brent from BetDSI, and he told me that Oakland -2 was a sharp side as well.
Yeah, that game really shocked me. That was my only loss on Sunday.
Oh.
I had just a killer week in the NFL,
Really?
and being the fact that that was the one I was most confident about,
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a shocker, just absolutely that's the NFL sometimes, from
Sure.
the penthouse to the outhouse in 1 week, whether you're picking them or you're actually the team playing the game, Jekyll and Hyde. You had a Philadelphia team that couldn't score against the Giants defense, and you had a Oakland team that's got a pretty damn good defense, and
Yep.
it just was the exact opposite. And, one of those games that was a head scratcher, and it was just a big shit sandwich, and everybody had to take a bite if you laid the points.
Yep. That's how the NFL goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you're eating a big fucking shit sandwich. All right, Tony George, give a plug for TonyGeorgeSports.com before we get into a Buffalo Pitt.
Well, everybody out there has choices. Check out TonyGeorgeSports.com. You got 4 handicappers there that are a 9-2 run or better, including yours truly. That's all documented. Teddy Covers, Brian Leonard, Joe Gavassi. So be sure and check out the website. And, of course, tune in to Yahoo Sports Radio on Sunday mornings at 8 o'clock and get 5 free plays every week, 63% on the radio show.
All right, Buffalo Pitt. Let's try to get a winner, damn it, this week, Tony George. Look, I'm looking at this game. I think I'm seeing an edge here. Maybe you agree with me, and maybe we'll both be wrong again. All right, Buffalo at Pitt. Pitt's a 3-point home favorite, right? The total's 43.5. And, look, all signs are pointing towards Buffalo here, right? Pitt looked awful last week. Things can change unexpectedly and radically in the NFL, but Pitt looked just like, they were, if there was ever a week where I thought maybe, they would come in and get a cover and play a team close, it was last week, but they couldn't stay close with New England. And Buffalo, they lost to Kansas City, but they outgained them. They doubled their yardage. Now it's looking like they're going to have both Thad Lewis and E.J. Manuel back at quarterback. C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson looking effective. They don't look like they're slowed by injury so much right now. Pittsburgh has a terrible running defense. Adding it all up, Buffalo +3, that's got to have a little bit of value, right, Tony?
You know what? I think it's the only way to look at this game, and you take a look at Pittsburgh against the spread-wise, 2-5-1, their last 8 at home. They only covered 2 of their last 10 games. Buffalo's had a pretty tough schedule here. Cincinnati, Kansas City, New England. They're 5-5 against the number of their last 10. But that 31st ranked rushing defense going up against the 7th ranked rushing offense now with Manuel, who provides you a little bit of uncomfortable factor, because he's the type of guy that can take off and run it, and he can throw it. You got Jackson and Spiller. I watched, obviously I live in Kansas City. I'm a Chiefs fan, and Buffalo did everything but win that game. They held Kansas City to 9 points last week offensively. They had a couple of, defense scored 14 points in that game, or Buffalo would have beat the only undefeated team in the NFL. And I get to looking at this here. When your offense is scoring 19 points a game and your turnover ratio is sitting for the year is -11, Roethlisberger, 12 touchdown passes, 9 picks, and you get a team that can come in there and physically man up to you. I mean, Buffalo's defense is underrated. That's the only way to look at this game. I think Buffalo comes in here, and I think they just run the football. If you run the football, it's a key to success. I mean, Minnesota's terrible, and they ran the football all over Pittsburgh and London. I mean, and that's how they won the game, with Matt Castle at quarterback, who's horrible. So at the end of the day, I think you got a good team here. I think Manuel provides them a spark. And Buffalo off a loss, last 7 times they lost a ball game, they're 6-1 the following week, Peter.
Well, Tony George, we're both agreeing that we both like Buffalo +3 quite a lot here, but we've been in this situation before. Last week and other weeks, with the Detroit game, last week, there have been lots of picks where we've both loved the side, and we've mostly lost. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I tell you what, I always like these interviews. Where I do a ton of them on the radio and everywhere else, and some TV stuff. And I don't always like to agree with the host because I like to give the listeners, and the watchers here, two different perspectives and let them make an informed decision based on the facts. But the facts here all point to Buffalo, and
Yeah.
I've got these two, with a power rating of Buffalo with 4 point higher power rating than Pitt. Of course, you're going to give Pitt some, points for being at home here, but how strong of a home field does Pitt have right now? 2-5-1 against the number the last 8 times at home. And I think people just are still in the back of their mind, Peter. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're coached by Mike Tomlin. They have Dick LeBeau. They have Ben Roethlisberger. They have Troy Polamalu. They got all these guys. Well, guess what? They suck. They're not winning. They're getting beat. They're turning the ball over. When you're running the ball for 73 yards a game and you have a minus 11 turnover ratio, you're not beating anybody. Buffalo's a good football team. They're making mistakes. Buffalo's biggest problem, red zone. They can't score in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
They start scoring in the red zone, they'd have probably 3 more wins than they've got right now. Buffalo's the only way to look here. I'm going to agree with you, and maybe we'll just go down the shitter together.
No, I think we got a winner this week, Tony George, damn it. All right, thanks so much. Tony George and I both agreeing that Buffalo +3 is the way to go here. Thanks, Tony. Talk to you again next week.